Friends, my name is Manish, and I'm again available with you guys for learning of the chapter trigonometry. And this topic is relevant to Cambridge O-level mathematics. The name of the chapter is trigonometry, and we had already discussed the sine rule before, and now we are going to discuss the cosine rule. So, why we are discussing the rule? So, trigonometry is the study of sides and angles of a triangle. So when we solve trigonometry, the main idea is to find the sides, missing sides, or any missing angle. Okay. So there are two sort of triangles can be available with us. So two sort of triangles. One is right angle triangle. When we have right angle triangle, how we can solve the problems, and other than when we do not have right angle triangles. So in right angle triangle, if we need to find any side, so that had been taught to us for like many years. So we used to learn Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem says the side which is exactly opposite to the right angle is considered as hypotenuse. The side which contain right angle can be considered either base or perpendicular. And you can also say that this side, the vertical side, can be considered as base, and this horizontal side can be considered as perpendicular. That really doesn't matter which kind of side you are going to take. Okay, so the fixed side is hypotenuse, that is always side opposite to the right angle, and hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. So Pythagorean theorem says base square plus perpendicular square equal to square of the hypotenuse. In that sense, we can find any of the missing sides. Fair enough? Now, in the right angle triangle, the second option we are having along with us, which I already discussed with you, trigonometric ratios. There are six trigonometric ratios, but in general, to solve in the calculators, we use three trigonometric ratios. So, three trigonometric ratios are sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. Sine theta is considered as perpendicular over hypotenuse. Cos theta is considered as base over hypotenuse. Tan theta is considered as perpendicular over base. So if you are learning about sine or cosine rule, I hope you are already familiar with all three kind of ratios. So in right angle triangle, if you are given for an example, if I take an example, uh, in a triangle you are given this side as, let us assume 15, and you are interested to find, let us consider this side 15, and let us assume this angle is 60 degree, and you are interested to find hypotenuse and base. So in that sense you can use any of three ratios, but we have to consider which angle is given. The side opposite to the angle is considered as perpendicular, and side adjacent to the angle is considered as base. So what we are given, we are given a perpendicular, and what we need to find, we need to find hypotenuse. So out of these three, we have to find the which T ratio is suitable, which connects perpendicular and hypotenuse. So perpendicular and hypotenuse are connected by these three in sine theta, sine ratios. So sine 60 equal to perpendicular, that is 15, and upon hypotenuse, that is missing. So what we can calculate here? Sine 60 times h equal to 15, and h comes out to be 15 over sine 60. And we can put these values in the calculator. For an example, we have to calculate a fraction. This is a fraction button, 15 over sine 60. So the answer comes out to be 10 root 3, or if you simplify that, this comes out to be 17.32 centimeter. In that sense, we can find any of the given angle and any of the given side if we are given one angle and one side. So trigonometric ratios help us. Trigonometric ratios helps us when we have uh, one angle, one side, or two sides given and angle is missing. In that sense, we can use trigonometric ratios. Now, when the triangle is not a right angle triangle, then what? Then to connect the sides and the angles of the triangle, we have discussed in the previous video the sine rule. If you are not gone through that video, that is very much important to solve the past paper problems. So hence, let us revise quickly. So what sine rule says. So we use sine rule when we have triangles other than right angle. Okay. So sine rule says take two pairs of angle and opposite sides. So sine rule basically होता क्या है? How do we use sine rule? Triangle ABC. So the side opposite to vertex A is named as A. The side opposite to vertex B is named as B, and the side opposite to vertex C is named as C. Okay. So here what we need two pairs. For an example, I am having this pair, and on the other hand I am having this pair. In these two pairs, if something is missing, that can be found using sine rule. That can be found using sine rule. I'll solve an example for you. For an example, in sine rule, what is the equation? Sine of A upon the opposite side A. Sine of A upon the opposite side A. Let us assume I write it. Sine A, sine B, and sine C. Okay. So sine of A upon the opposite side, sine of B upon the opposite side, and sine of C upon the opposite side. So at a time you do not need to take all three along with you. According to the given situation, we can take any two which contains the given situation and to find situation. Any two. We can take this equation, we can take this equation, or we can take first and last. That is up to the problem. So this equation has to be remembered by you, and moreover sine rule can be used only when you are given pairs. So angle, opposite side, angle, and opposite side. So in this situation, if you take like this relationship, if you take this relationship, out of this relationship you will be given three things and you have to find the fourth one. You may be given this thing, you may be given this thing, you may be given this thing, and you need to find it. Okay. Or you may be given likewise, you may be given sides and third angle, and you need to find the fourth angle. So you have to make the pair of angle and opposite side, angle and opposite side. That is the only identification. Oh, in the other sense, if you solve an example, for example, this is a problem in it is not a right angle triangle. So when the triangle is not right angle triangle, we straightforward think of sine rule or cosine rule. So I'm coming towards cosine rule. Just solve this problem. This is 90 degree, and the side opposite to 90 degree is x. So what I can write here, sine 90 degree over x, and the other angle is other pair, this pair. So we can write here sine 35 degree upon 8. So we are having this kind of equation. Let's make this equation and solve the problem. So 8 times sine 90 equal to x times sine 35. So we need to find here, we need to find x. So hence x can be written as 8 times sine 90 and sine 35. If you put this calculation in the calculator, you're going to get the exact answer. Let us solve this problem for you. I'm just recapitulating because I have made a separate video on sine, and if you have seen this video on the sine rule, you can skip this. Otherwise, this is a sense of revision only. So out sine a times sine 90, sine 90 bracket close. Do not do not forget to close the bracket. And in the denominator we are having sine 35, this one. Okay. So we have put all the values and solve it. Here we are having the value of x. X comes out to be 13.947. 13.947, and if you solve this as up to two decimal places, kind of this is sine. So pairs. And now what is cosine rule? Cosine rule, again, very helpful, and probably the weightage of the question may carry about 4 to 5 marks. Okay, so let us think how to use that cosine rule. So first of all, we have to understand the requirements for the cosine rule. In a right angle triangle, in any triangle other than right angle, in any triangle other than right angle. So what we would require, any triangle, one angle should be given or the angle is missing. Let us assume this angle is theta. And first thing is angle. The other thing is two adjacent sides which include the angle. Two adjacent sides which include the angle. So which two sides are including the angle? This angle is being included by A and B. You can call these sides as like neighbor sides. Neighbor to whom? Neighbor to the given angle. So one angle, two adjacent or neighbor sides. Okay. The third thing is one angle, two adjacent sides, and third thing, one opposite side. Opposite to whom? Opposite to angle. So these three and one four. So one angle, two neighbor sides, and one opposite side. I'll write here for you guys. This is opposite side, and you can consider it as neighbor 1, and you can consider it as neighbor 2 side. So the first thing is angle, two neighboring sides, and one opposite side. So these four things all together make an equation. That equation is known as cosine rule. Are you understanding, guys? If I take this triangle, ये angle आपको given है, and this is A, this is B, this is C. So this situation is very much suitable for cosine rule. Okay, so how we use the cosine rule? Let us try and understand the situation. So if you take a practical problem here, what is happening here? See, one angle is here, whether it is given or missing. Neighbor side number 1, neighbor side number 2, and what we are given again, opposite side. So this triangle, this problem is very much appropriate for cosine rule. Okay, out of these four, one would be missing and three would be given. So here, if you see here we are having one angle, neighbor side number 1, neighbor side number 2, and what we are missing with the opposite side. In this problem, what we are seeing, we are having the angle along with us, we are having neighbor side number 1, we are missing neighbor side number 2, and we are given the opposite side here. So out of these four, three would be given and one would be missing. So that circumstance is very much suitable for cosine rule. So now understand what is the cosine rule. Cosine rule says, for an example, we are given this angle. Whatever the letter is, we are given this angle. Whether given in the sense we are given or this angle has to be found. So in the problem, this angle had been mentioned. So in this angle, this is the neighbor side number 1, this is the neighbor side number 2, and this is the opposite side. So how we do that? Cos of A, because this angle was missing, cos of A equal to B square plus C square minus A square and upon 2 times B times C. Let us revise. Cos A equal to B square plus C square minus A square upon 2BC. So in the in the other context, if you see it carefully, uh, just a moment. Okay, see it carefully. What we have taken here, because name of the triangle in the problem of the papers can change anytime. So what we are taking as neighbor side number 1 square, yes or no? Angle neighbor side number 1 square plus neighbor side number 2 square minus opposite side square upon 2 times neighbor side number 1 and neighbor side number 2. So this is the holy solely formula. Cos A equal to neighbor side number 1 square, neighbor side number 2 square minus opposite side square upon, in the denominator will be mentioning here 2 times neighbor 1 and times neighbor 2. This is the equation. If you can understand this equation, things are going to be very much easy for you. For example, let us guess here what can happen here. So cos B, we have to we have to take the angle B under consideration. Cos B. So what is cos B? You know, neighbor side number 1 square, that is A square. Neighbor side number 2 square, that is C square, and minus opposite side square, that is B square, and in the denominator we are having 2 times neighbor side 1, that is A, and neighbor side 2, that is C. So if we calculate this fraction, we would be having our required answer. So here 4 things are angle, neighbor 1, neighbor 2, and opposite side. Out of these 4, one would be missing. If we see this thing, cos C. So it really doesn't matter which variable is written here and where the angle is located. You just follow the neighbor side concept. So cos C means neighbor side 1, neighbor side number 2, and that would be considered as opposite. So A square, that is neighbor side number 1, plus neighbor side number 2 square. So theta n1 and n2 square minus opposite side square. Opposite side is AB, and in the denominator 2 times BC. BC is no, sorry, 2 times AC. 2 times AC. So here we'll write neighbor 1 times neighbor 2. So that is the equation which we have to learn. Do not try to focus on the variables, because in the triangle problems you will be given in the past papers or in the future examination, the name of the triangles can change anytime. Okay, let us try to solve a problem along with the context. So what we are given here, let us assume, let me clean it. Okay, so we are given this angle. This is the let us assume neighbor 1, this is the neighbor 2, and this is the opposite side. So hence, do not try to learn ABC. What we see here, cos 55 degree equal to neighbor 1, that is 10 square, neighbor 2, that is 12 square. Neighbor, I am taking the reference point angle, okay, reference point as an angle, and minus opposite side, that is x square, upon 2 times neighbor 1, that is 10, and neighbor 2, that is 12. So this is the equation which we have formed, and now we have to solve this equation. So here what we can solve as cos 55 100 144 minus x square, and this comes out to be 240. So this is the fraction, and how we are going to solve this, I will write cos 55 times 240 equal to, I will add these two, this comes out to be 244 minus x square. So we need to find x square. So x square is here, if you notice, x square has a negative sign. So to maintain the sign positive, we need to find the positive value of x. We will export this term to the left hand side, and we will export this term to the right hand side to change the signs. Let us see how this happens. So x square उठ के इधर आएगा, x square positive, and 244 had been copied here, and this term would be subtracted here times 240. Okay, x comes out to be under root of 244. I hope 244, yeah, 244 minus cos 55 times 240. So we have this calculation, and let's bring our calculator. So we need to calculate under root of 244 minus cos 55 bracket close times 240. This this calculator automatically use a BOD mass or any bit mass rule, so do not worry about it. So the value of x comes out to be 10.312, 10.312, and if I solve it, I can write it as 10.31, correct to two decimal places, and that really depends in the problem which kind of answer set is required. Significant figures, one decimal place, two decimal place, three decimal places, you have to read the question very carefully. So in that context, angle, neighbor 1, neighbor 2, opposite side are suitable for cosine rule. Let us take another example. Okay, let us take another example, and let us assume the name of the triangle is PQR. So the idea is the name of the triangle can be anything. You have to remember the angle, neighbor 1, neighbor 2, and opposite. Let us assume we are given this angle as 60, and so in that sense, what is happening here? If you want to try this problem, you can pause the video and try it your own. That would be appreciable all the time. So angle, we are given neighbor 1, we are given neighbor 2, and the opposite side. So this shape is very much useful for cosine rule. So I am going to use cos 60 equals to neighbor 1, neighbor 2, and opposite. So neighbor 1, x square, plus neighbor 2, 12 square, minus opposite 10.5 square. And in the denominator, we are going to have 2 times neighbor 1, that is x, and 2 times neighbor 2, that is going to be 12. So we have to solve this kind of equation, and let us see how we can solve this. Okay, let us solve this. Cos 60, let it be cos 60 again, x square plus 148 for 144 minus 10.5 square. So 10.5 times 10.5, that gives us 1110.25, and upon we are going to have 24x. So what is going to happen here? So we are having a term containing x square here, term containing x here. So when we have this kind of situation, we'll be having some number here. So we would be getting a quadratic equation. Now you have to solve that quadratic equation. Let us see how this is going to happen. This is very like a lengthy problem. It may take some time. Okay. So value of cos 60. So you can calculate the value of cos 60, and done. Yes, the value of the cos 60 is 1 by 2. So what we can do, 1 by 2 times x square, and these can be solved. 144 minus 144 minus 110.25. The answer is 33 point, साइन आएगा बड़े नंबर का 33.75. Okay, and upon 24x. So when we have x square and x term all together, then we are going to have a quadratic equation. So what is going to happen here? 24x and it comes out to be 2x square plus 33.75 into 2. This comes out to be 67.5. 67 point. So what is happening? Cross multiply. Okay. Now we have to solve for x square. So hence we'll be having here, let us assume 2x square minus 24x plus 67.5 equal to 0, or we can write this equation as 2x square minus 24x plus 67.50 equal to 0. This equation has even numbers, even number, even number, even number, and we can divide all three variables by 2. So hence if we divide by 2, what we are going to have here, x square minus 12x plus 33.75 equal to 0. Okay, now we have to solve this quadratic equation. In this quadratic equation we are having a equal to 1, b equal to minus 12, and c comes out to be 33.75. And what is the quadratic formula for this? X equal to minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. That is a quadratic formula, and we have to plug in the values here. X comes out to be minus b. Minus b means we are having the value of b as minus 12. So minus times minus, that is plus minus under root b square minus 4a, that is 1, and c, that is 33.75 upon 2a. So 2 times 1 again. Okay, now we have to calculate this thing. Let us put these values in the calculator itself. Okay, so I have plugged in this square root value in the calculator, minus 12 square minus 4a 33.75, and the calculator gave me answer as 3. So it comes out to be 12 plus minus under root 3 by 2. So x is, there are two values of x. X comes out to be 12 plus root 3 by 2, or x comes out to be 12 minus root 3 by 2. Let us solve this. Again, fraction 12 root 3 plus root 3, sorry, 12 plus root 3, 12 plus root 3 over 2. No, this is altogether 3, sorry. The value had been solved, sorry. The value had been solved to 3. So answer is 12 plus 3, 12 minus 3. So this comes out to be x can be 15 by 2, x can be 7.5 centimeter, and here x can be 9 by 2, so x can be 4.5 centimeter. That is the idea how we solve very complex problems using cosine rule. So that is how we solve problems, and you need to like go through the concept and whatever is required. You can give me any suggestion, any improvement if you want in the comment section, so I can make the further videos what are instantly required to you. Until then, I wish you all the best and keep learning.